My past DMP productions, I had discussed the topic of suffering and its role in the pursuit of a world of peace and justice. So, going along with this theme of adversity, for my DMP3, I wish to delve deeper into the actual transformation process of the individual on an individual and particular level. So, my big question for DMP3 is what transformation occurs when people face trials or suffering in their lives? A fine example of this transformation that was told in class is the story of the mechanical horse. In this story, the prince falls in love with the princess of another village. However, the star-crossed lovers are faced with numerous adversities, ranging from the princess's father trying to kill the prince to the princess being captured by another prince who wishes to marry her as well. From these trials, the couple was able to grow closer together and become more deeply in love. After overcoming each trial, it was evident that a character transformation has occurred. Whether it was an increase in cunning, as when the prince tricked the other prince and escaped on the mechanical horse, or an increase in strength, as when the princess transformed into a Bengal tiger to fight off the inventor. In addition, in part of the story, the princess had to give up everything that she had in order to go with the prince. This can be related on a universal level, in which sometimes people must be willing to give up everything in order to overcome their adversities. On a particular level, I can relate to this because in high school, I was willing to sacrifice much of my time and energy in overcoming the adversities that came with being the captain of the ultimate frisbee team. However, in the end, it was well worth it. A story that amplifies my big question is the story of Nikun. In this story, Nikun faces a trial when she follows a mysterious man who eventually transforms into a snake. The snake tries to swallow her up, but she cries for help and a hunter saves her. But the men of the village no longer desire her or want to marry her. This story complicates the big question by demonstrating that not all transformation from hardships are positive transformations. In fact, based on the way people deal with adversity, both negative and positive transformations could occur. Another story that amplifies the big question is the story of Kuan Yin. In Kuan Yin, a young man pursues after a beautiful market woman, but before she marries him, she has a few trials to test him. These trials require him to study the Sutra of the Compassionate Kwannon, and eventually he himself becomes transformed by the sutra, and the marriage was made in his heart. He then goes on to tell others of the sutra and eventually influences his village. This story complicates the big question by demonstrating that an individual's transformation can lead to the transformation of others or even an entire village. Just as the young man was transformed by the sutra and influenced many by spreading the teachings, so people who have overcame adversity in today's age can also influence many. Such people can demonstrate to those who are suffering through similar circumstances how they were able to overcome and what transformation occurred or needed to occur in order to overcome the trial. A local level translation of this big question is Martin Luther King Jr. While fighting for civil rights, he faced all different types of adversity, ranging from verbal abuse to physical abuse, and was even sent to jail multiple times for his activism. From overcoming all these trials, Martin Luther King was able to make an outstanding impact on the civil rights movement. Through the suffering, he was able to transform from a depressed adolescent into a Baptist pastor. Further persecution catalyzed King to transform into an outspoken, passionate, and courageous spokesman that delivered the I Have a Dream speech that influenced the lives of millions. On an individual level, the big question relates to my life. Upon graduating, I plan to become a dentist. This career not only deals with pain itself, but I also expect to face a lot of adversities through my pursuit of becoming a dentist. These adversities may range from financial debt to stressful academics. However, from hearing these stories, I understand that the journey to becoming a dentist will provide me with the opportunity to transform myself for the better, and that although the path may be difficult, if I am able to overcome the suffering, then the end will be well worth it.